Full send, baby. You know what this is fueled by? Yo, yo, yo! Like, I don't think anybody stayed here in like 5 years.
5? You're being generous.
I mean, did you see that outhouse? And we're the only people here. So at least we've got the whole place to ourselves. Yeah. Ben Canoe's probably staying in his 5-star hotel, and this is my lovely accommodation. Bring it on. Yo, 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 what's going on, Kenny?
Yo, yo, yo.
And who's this here?
I don't ignore him.
We'll ignore that guy. And I'm opening up the race venue, everyone. This is where the race is going to be taking place in 2 days, apparently. And it's set up promptly and on time. You can see the transition tents. You can see the bathroom set up over there. Yeah, that's right. About 55 years old, at least. And this is actually where I'm supposed to be camping. So this is also my accommodation. It doubles as everything. Yeah, it's gonna be a rad time, I suppose. And we're the only people here, and we also had to open the campground because it was completely closed off. So off to an excellent start so far. A check, check, a yo, yo, a check, check, a yo, yo, yo. Here we are, Bear Lake Brawl. This is the race venue. I'm getting settled into my campground, my campsite. So this is my bed for the next 2 nights. This is my home. Pink for the sheets. Nice manly selection. Got the bike unpacked here. Got the nice rig. Here with my parents. So we got our tent. We got our camp table. We got the Pinarello as well. And we got the whole campsite to ourselves. So we're just positive reaffirmations, and we're saying that it's a beautiful, beautiful spot to be. And yeah, in 36 hours, there's going to be a race going on right here. So cheers, we're gonna have a great time, just making the best of life. Here I am, living large, extra mighty large, in my accommodation for the night. You know, you might be asking yourself, man, how come you're going camping if you really want to do well in a race? So I want to tell a little story there. So for me, this race is a lot about kind of getting back to my roots and just really enjoying racing and finding my rhythm. And so the first time I ever raced a half Ironman, I camped out. It was up in Steamboat. I was 18 years old. I had been training for about 3 months, and I camped out, had a great time. I was with my parents again as well, and I won the whole race overall in my first ever 70.3. And so I just love camping. It just really helps me get grounded and centered. And then flash forward to my last race as an amateur. I did Ironman Coeur d'Alene in 2015. It was the 105-degree day, and I drove up with my then girlfriend, and we camped out at Yellowstone for a few nights, and then made our way up to Coeur d'Alene. And sure enough, camped out there, just got my soul centered, and then I won the overall amateur field there at Coeur d'Alene. So everyone's a bit different, and I just love it because it helps me get relaxed. It connects me to nature, and it just makes me happy. So that's what I'm doing. Cheers. Check, check. Here we are. Pre-race dinner. Doing it on the camping stove. Just making some classic Costco pasta with some classic marinara sauce, and that's gonna do it for dinner. Maybe have a little avocado as well. Carbs are king, baby. Eating early, getting it done. Okay, folks, here I am, getting ready. About 12 hours till the start of the race. I'm getting super stoked. The expo's really turned into a cool spot. Lots of people camping out, fun time, and I'm just thrilled to race. I'm just completely stoked to open it up, to go full animal mode, to hurt 10 out of 10. And you know, these KOMs, the longest one I've done has been 1 hour and 20 minutes, and this is like Because this is going to be 3 hours and 50 minutes of pain. 3 hours and 50 minutes of pain with VT, isn't that right?
3 hour 45.
All 350 minutes.
And that's the best part about this. We got friends, we got family. It's a local grassroots event, and it's a return to racing, and we're not even maybe want to be too worried about winning or anything like that. It's mostly just about fun and getting our legs underneath us. So that's that.
25 minutes away from the start, how are you feeling?
Feeling pretty great, actually. Legs came around, legs were heavy yesterday, but race morning, I'm ready to fire. It's me versus everybody else, baby, and that's exactly how I like it. That's some LeBron James stuff, Kobe Bryant, you name it. That's what it's about. If I can pull this off, that's massive.
All right, we'll see you out there.
All right, cheers, boys. That's how it's done, baby. Whew.
Sam, you talked the big talk and you backed it up. How does it feel?
Feels great. Whew, I don't think I even talked a big talk. Everyone else was the ones talking talk to me, and I just went with the flow.
First big race of the year. You've done a lot of Strava segments, online stuff. How does it feel to claim your first victory?
Racing's where it counts. I said that on whatever day that was. I said, you know, talking doesn't mean anything, and Strava segments don't mean anything either. So let's go and tell our boy Lionel Sanders that. Get him out on the race.
Will we see you in Daytona?
I'll be at Daytona, yep.
All right, congratulations.
Thanks, guys. An awesome job covering it. Thanks to the PTO, making pros have a livelihood, making us have a life, making us get out and have fun. Really badass day out there, tough conditions. And yeah, I'm stoked that the other competitors came out. And this morning I saw your video and I was like, it's a challenge. So I came out and I think I rose to the challenge. But I love all these guys. I respect them all. They've been my idols for years. So it's really just about seeing how I stack up against them. And the smack talk's fun, and it's to build hype around the sport. It's not out of disrespect to these guys. So that's all it's about, guys. Cheers. Thanks so much. It's my mom's birthday too. Yeah. And I've never won in front of you before. Isn't that right?
I think that's a pro.
Yeah.
Woo.
All right.
Hey, fans of the YouTube and fans of the big unit, gonna give you a little race breakdown here. So we're just gonna start at the beginning with the swim. The start was at least 30 minutes delayed. A huge storm kind of came in. It started with just some big wind, so it blew all the buoys around. So then we modified the swim course, and it was kind of a little bit weird. It was like 3 sort of around the circles, and it was kind of shallow, so you had to do some dolphin dives, and it was super choppy. It was the most choppy swim I've ever done. One thing that was super weird is we were supposed to go 10 seconds off time trial start, but they kind of just like read it and let us go, so it was more like 3. So I'm hoping they'll sort of account for that actually in the timing, because otherwise if you went later you got free time. Like if you went 15th, you were supposed to start 2.5 minutes behind, but you probably only started less than a minute behind. So hopefully they did that, but regardless, all of us it ended up being more or less like a regular swim, just slightly staggered. So we all swam together. The swim was for sure the hardest part. I was a bit anaerobic at times. At times I honestly stood up to catch my breath because it was so gnarly. And then out of the swim, I was kind of right with Matt Hansen and Chris Lieferman, and we kind of hustled up to transition. I managed to pass them both right before transition, and then I guess you could say work my magic in transition, and I got out just before them, which I kind of wanted to because I knew they'd want to sit on me. And then honestly, I just put the hammer down immediately on the bike, and I created separation. I could tell, I think it was like Chris, Matt, and I know it was one other guy working together early on, maybe even more. And it wasn't Brad, but at that point, because anyways, I looked back a few times and could see they were behind, and I was like, just keep bridging up, and I expected the front to be farther ahead, to be honest. And then I got the info from the race media guys that I was only 30 seconds behind. So then I put in this pretty decent surge. It was like 430 watts for 5 minutes or so to catch Ben and Brad. And at that point I was like, oh, let's sit in, let's just catch my breath. And to be honest, I kind of wanted to rope-a-dope them a bit, like I'm riding really hard, and then I was gonna put the hammer of Thor down. But we're in an interesting spot where the wind was coming very much from the side, so I don't really think there was that much of a benefit of being in a group. And I came to the front, and then again I sort of said, like, come on through, you guys can do a little turn, because I hadn't literally sat on anyone's wheel for more than 15 seconds so far, and they were unable to. They didn't move. So I looked back and I said, if they're not able to do that, that must mean it's time to push. So then I pushed even harder, and I kind of like steadily ramped it up. It was like, okay, 3 minutes just kind of a little bit harder, and then 3 minutes a little bit harder, and then 3 minutes harder. And I could tell, like, each 3 minutes they were like, oh, I can sort of hang. And so I think they were maybe pushing a little too hard. And then, when I did that third ramp up, I could tell I made separation. And then I just put my head down and kept hammering on the bike. And that was when the rain started coming in at about mile 30, 35, an hour 30 in. And it got really, really cold. I mean, freezing cold. And then, the final 15 minutes. Well, you guys saw me because you were like, oh, they're 130 back. And remember, I said, I'll bet you $5,000 that'll be an extra minute by the time I get to T2. And I'm pretty sure that it was. So, again, a man of my words.
We owe you money?
Yeah, Talbot owes me money, baby. You don't owe me money, but let's call Talbot up. And then, I almost was like, I'm not sure how I'm going to do this run because it was so cold. Couldn't feel the feet, and the first few miles was just trying to warm up, and I had to pee really bad too because it was so cold. But anyways, thankfully running, you generate a good bit of heat, and we actually had a tailwind then, so that was allowing you to warm up as opposed to the cold headwind. And I just kind of kept hanging in on the run. I knew Matt's a great runner, so I wasn't ever really like sure that I had it in the bag until I kind of got to the run turnaround, and I saw it was like 3-4 minutes, and I was like, oh, I got this unless if I explode. But you just never know until you get to the finish. So it's like full gas. It was a headwind. I was slowing down to about 6-minute miles, and I'm like, well, what if they're going 5:30s? Like, this could be a somewhat bad situation. And because of the cold and the transition, my socks were wet and my hands weren't working, so I skipped the socks, which kind of made the feet, like, I just wasn't getting the proper grip in the shoes. But it was just a great day. And I think I ran right about 116 flattish, and I actually biked 152 something, so that's moving. And I think it was like 350 watts or so, which in the cold, like, it would have been under 150 if it had been a nice day, which would have been totally rad. But that's the journey. I saw the video this morning, and I said, like, it's the big unit versus everyone else today. That's what this match was. That's what this first race in the United States was. Big unit versus everyone. They all worked together. I went out and did it solo, and that's what it's about. On to the next one. We got 8 days till 70.3 Cozumel, and then it's big unit versus everyone, round 2. I feel great because it's been almost a year. I've probably nothing, or, you know, and then you come out and you realize, like, oh, I've actually made improvement. I know hands down that's the best half I've ever raced from a performance standpoint. I don't want to sound like I'm harsh to my competitors. I love my competitors. I think they're all great guys. I think it's just kind of good for the sport that we talk game, and I think it's great that they all sort of teamed up against me. That the story makes it amazing. It's not out of hard feelings or a bad place that and to be honest, I don't think I've even done it or said anything. I think it's just that I've trained like a mighty Superman, and that my training has actually gotten people being like, oh, Sam talks a big talk. It's my training that talks a big talk, which isn't actually talking, it's doing. So, but I'm thrilled. The PTO put this on. It's the first race. It was like the Woodstock of triathlon, camping out, you know, having a huge blizzard. It was like 2020 wanted to shut this thing down as well, but the PTO, the big unit, and the rad other pros, we persevered and we got it done. So thanks guys for coming out and giving me